Bingo Blitz rules.
If your bingo has ads in it,
That's not a bingo.
if it doesn't have the coolest tournaments, mini games, and the most breathtaking design,
Nope, not a bingo.
if your bingo moment makes you feel so excited that you just want to burst in joy and scream out loud, bingo! Sorry, so you're playing...
Bingo Blitz? Now that's a bingo. Discover a world of excitement with Bingo Blitz, the #1 free bingo game. Download Bingo Blitz and play for free.
Now that's a bingo.
Being a marketer's no sweat. You just have to manage dozens of channels, launch hundreds of campaigns, score thousands of leads, and okay, fine, it's a lot of sweat. Unless you have HubSpot's AI-powered marketing tools to help you do all that and more. Get started at HubSpot.com/marketers.
Imagine what's possible when learning doesn't get in the way of life. At Capella University, our game-changing FlexPath learning format lets you set your own deadlines so you can learn at a time and pace that works for you. It's an education you can tailor to your schedule. That means you don't have to put your life on hold to pursue your professional goals. Instead, enjoy learning your way and earn your degree without missing a beat. A different future is closer than you think with Capella University. Learn more at capella.edu.
Welcome to a new day of a new show that we got for you. Is called Fisting. Friday. Fisting. Fisting Friday. Yeah.
I feel like we're at like all boys little children's summer camp. And we're like walking around the woods
Marching.
being like, "Va-ba-da." And it also simultaneously sounds like the song that the fish sings in Finding Nemo at the aquarium.
Never seen it. We've been over this.
I know, but maybe that's what I want for my birthday. I want to do for my birthday next year. I just will make everyone sit in a room and watch all of my favorite movies with me. No, because no one's going to enjoy it as much as I want.
Hunt.
Fair. I know. I'm wondering if I should implement that this year as well, because like I'm doing like,
That's what I said.
I know I'm saying like Taylor Swift concert for my birthday with
yeah,
just
yeah.
Mott's, but like I need
As a
something else.
Yeah.
Like what else am I going to do? Welcome back. It's Friday. Are we your first or second fisting of the day?
If you're #blessed, could go either way.
Fisting is on every row of the pyramid, of the food pyramid. And the CDC and the World Health Organization recommends,
And FDA.
the FDA really heavily, staunchly recommends a good helping of fisting every Friday. More than that, speak with your own practitioner, your doctor. What about your needs? But every Friday, you should be fisted.
All right. Shall we
Almost
start?
made a bad joke. Yeah.
Well, we've got an update from a previous episode that I would like to share.
Share it.
From
She's got a whole fucking ass Google Doc right now. I'm impressed.
boyfriend kisses mom on the lips.
Oh my God, thank you. Where have you been? I've had so many questions.
Well, they say, sorry it took so long for
Thank
me to
you.
update. But let me answer some of the questions y'all had. So, like I said, my boyfriend and his mom have a perfectly, quote unquote, normal and healthy relationship. I am not a PDA person. So when people are greeting each other, I tend to look away and feel similarly to what you were talking about, Megan.
Yep.
So when you
Relatable.
don't like to see people getting tongued down on TV.
No, they did the kissing challenge on Love Island last night. Mats goes, oh no, you should get your phone out, make sure it's charged, play your games.
Did Mott's make a Love Island reference
He did.
earlier? Okay.
That's why his ego got boosted, and then he made that second joke afterwards. He's on a roll.
And then, I played into it, but I was like,
It's 'cause I've made it before, and I think you were like, I know.
it was the British accent. I was
Yeah.
like, I'll just go
I know
with
you're
it.
both watching this. I'm
Yeah.
assuming that's what he's referencing.
I think this is why I haven't noticed before. But the times I have observed them greeting each other, my boyfriend typically kisses his mom on the forehead or on top of the head because she's so much shorter than him. The particular situation where I noticed the mouth kiss, my boyfriend had just competed and placed well in a competition, and we all went up to him at the same time.
Wait,
and
did you say what kind of competition? Why did my mind go to chess? Sorry.
I thought track.
Okay.
I don't know.
That's so sweaty. Salty on the lips. Sorry.
Placed well in a competition. We all went up to him at the same time and congratulated him. Once we were back in the car, I asked him, "Do you kiss your mom on the lips?" And his response was, "Sometimes, I guess it depends on the situation. Usually I just kiss her on the head." And that was the only conversation we had about it. He didn't appear to be uncomfortable or like it was a regular occurrence. It seems like it's only in extra congratulatory, affectionate, heightened emotion situations where they do this. And no, his mother has never tried to kiss me. Crying face, laughing emoji.
Oh, that's good.
Like I said, I'm not much of a physical affection or PDA, so at most we like side hugs sometimes.
Oh my
in
God,
all
that's
caps.
my dream.
This is not a cultural related thing. It's just a them thing. Hope that provides some more clarification. It does. I don't feel, before I said, not for me. And this just, just seems like whatever.
His response is like, that's everything I would have hoped.
Yeah.
Like, because there's no like, what? No.
Mm-hmm.
What do you, why are you looking?
Mm-hmm.
I was waiting for you to be like, so we were all we were all going in to give him like congratulations. So I was like, did you accidentally three-way kiss?
And I also thought this was something that happened way more.
Yeah.
That's what it seemed like in the first one.
Most of the people I know where like a kiss on the lips with like an adult parent with your adult children is like, even when it's cultural, again, obviously I don't know all cultures, but the people I know who do this and it is relatively common in their culture, it's still in these circumstances. Like it's not like a hi, goodbye. Mm-hmm. It is a extreme heightened, like really exciting things. Like you're not getting a fucking kiss on the lips for just any old reason. Mm-hmm. You got to do real good.
Yep.
Was it Lego robotics? Was it track? Was it chess?
Was it debate?
Was it dance? Was it flame throwing?
Archery?
Ooh. Was it
dueling piano competition?
Was it fencing?
I find fencing really hot.
Melissa, I was going to say the exact same thing. There's something like, imagine, like, I feel like there has to be a porn where it's like you're fencing and then you're sweating, you're sexy, you don't even know who each other are. And then you rip the masks off and you're like, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is.
I don't know either.
Little skinny old skinny old
swords.
Dick sword. Maybe it's like
the outfit
it's dick sword
too.
fighting. Yeah, it's very tight, and there's something like sexy anonymous. It's kind of giving like, is it Zorro? Or is it Zelda? Who's the Zorro? Antonio Banderas. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that whole thing of like what's going on?
Yeah.
You watched Moon Knight? Mm-mm. I think you'd like it because his outfit it's a little more drapey, but like it's kind of fancy.
I know what the outfit is.
Yeah.
All right. Shall we get into the results for this week?
Yes, episode 59. First up, we have me versus bridal TikTok. 3% said I was wrong. 97% said I was not wrong.
A bridal stylist wrote in.
A bridalist?
And they said, I'm a bridal stylist, and the whole space is so toxic, and I hate it. Crying emoji. But I agree with all of what you said.
Thank you.
Next is Melissa. Gun violence needs to end, and it starts with the manufacturers. 1% said I was wrong. 99% said that I was not wrong. Someone wrote in and said, I just learned this morning from a Boston Globe article that my home state, Massachusetts, has the largest group of gun manufacturers / vendors under one roof, 83. The Globe has done multiple investigations discovering they have been flouting state and federal laws and state ban on assault weapons. One manufacturer in this building was found to have been selling guns illegally that were linked to gang violence. The federal authorities have finally now stepped in to investigate this past week. It just shows how much it really starts with the manufacturers. We obviously need stricter federal laws, but even the laws we have in place are still being worked around. I honestly was not really informed about gun policy here because it's not as overt culturally. Despite being in a more quote-unquote progressive area, it is still a major issue.
I go to click on some of the people who said you weren't wrong. And immediately I'm seeing a gun and hunting. You know? Next up was writer number 1 versus distancing self from privileged friends. 7% said the writer is wrong. 93% said the writer is not wrong. Do we have any messages on that one? I don't think so.
No.
Oh, okay.
Then we've got writer number 2 versus not giving a shit about Rachel. Who is wrong? 4% said writer is wrong, and 96% said that Rachel is wrong. The writer wrote in. This is my write-in, and I would just like to say you were 100% right about being dead behind the eyes. If you would like, I can send you a photo of her
Please.
just so you can understand how
We would never
accurate
share
you
it.
were.
We would never share it.
Rachel is also a trainee lawyer, so had to win every argument or disagreement. She also used to absolutely shit on my job and everything I know about my industry. I'm in the wine industry and have to know a hell of a lot for my job, so that really should have given me some insight into what she was really like.
Hey, but perfect career to go into for Dead Behind the Eyes.
Yeah.
Then we have writer number 3 versus boyfriend who wanted to bring their dog over when the writer was fostering a small kitten. 1% said the writer is wrong, and 99% said the boyfriend is wrong. Did someone
This
respond?
photo is disturbing. Somebody wrote in and said the only exception to this that I can think of would be if the dog was a medical alert dog of some kind, but 99% sure that's not the case here.
Oh, the writer wrote in. This is my story, and my now ex-boyfriend was 29 at the time. Old enough to know better, LMAO.
That's all they said?
Yep.
Okay, great. X is all we needed to hear. We said it was a red flag, and
It was.
it was.
Wasn't orange, wasn't coral, wasn't pink. It was red. Burning red. Sorry.
Writer number 4 versus boyfriend that didn't keep up with chores while the writer had COVID. 55% said the writer is wrong. 45% said the boyfriend's wrong. Very, dividing.
That to me, because not that I think that we're always, I mean, we are always right, but not that I think that like what we say will be popular. I feel like we're good. I'm good at thinking what will be popular with the audience, even if our opinions are unpopular. This was one I didn't think.
I did.
You did?
Some people were like this one person said that if the counter was sticky, then he should have just used disinfectant wipes to wipe it up. Which, whatever. Somebody also said, as someone who is scared of getting COVID, I wouldn't leave my room if my boyfriend got it. When my boyfriend was sick, not COVID, he slept on an air mattress in our second bedroom. He only left to use the bathroom. I wore a mask and would set food in the room if he needed something. If he was going out and not caring, then he should have cleaned his own stuff.
Agreed.
And then the writer wrote in.
So the writer said, sweating emoji. Totally forgot I wrote in for this one. He actually came back to me a couple hours later apologizing for reacting the way he did and agreed that in a non-COVID scenario, he would absolutely help. I definitely had a lot more biases that I left out in the original write-in for brevity, but he doesn't really help me as much. He doesn't really help me much at all in general, and asking for help makes me feel like I'm patronizing him. All this to say, we're working on it. I did write some notes to answer some of your questions as well. Megan, you asked what I ate, basically, and the unfortunate answer is basically nothing. On day 1, I ordered some groceries for myself and he dropped them at my door. And even that I had a hard time eating. My appetite still hasn't returned completely. Oh my God, I feel for you. Very much understand. Melissa, you brought up the dishes, and yes, they were his dishes, but when he and I talked about it later, it was exactly what you said. He didn't want to be out anywhere or touching anything for more time than he had to, and that totally makes sense. Thanks so much for giving it to me straight, and never apologize for telling me that I'm wrong. Otherwise, how else am I going to learn? Love you both. Oh, I love that ending of this. Mm-hmm. I'm going to say unsolicited advice about having a hard time with appetite. Whatever you want to eat, if any craving comes up or anything is good, like have a variety of shit at your house, variety of textures, a variety of things. And like sometimes if the only thing, if I want to eat chips and that's the only thing that sounds okay, then like I'm just going to eat a bag of chips and like that's going to be it. Like I'm not worried. And my doctor was saying this, like, do not worry about like the nutritional density of the food that you're eating. To get your appetite back when you've been sicked out by food, you just need to eat food. And like whatever that is later on when you're able to develop more of an appetite and to crave more things, like just eat something, try something different, and just keep doing that, because the longer then it becomes like can be fear of it and like all of that. It's your stomach is a muscle. It's not, it's an organ. Is it a muscle? It contracts, but like I just think that you have other muscles around
there's
it.
Muscle
so then
tissue.
Anyways. But I feel for you on that aspect of it immensely. And might I recommend protein shakes and smoothies. Found cold food was better for me, but that really fucking depends. Then my wrong of the week, I nominated Madison Russo. 97% said Madison is wrong. 3% said Madison is not wrong. I have a question for the three of you who said that she was not wrong. And was it an accident? That's literally my only question. Shall I give the Madison Russo update at the end?
I do want to say that somebody wrote in about this too.
Oh, I didn't see that.
And they said, thanks for speaking out against Madison Russo. She stole photos of my friend's abdomen with port tubes to use for her posts and content to make it seem legit. My friend is waiting on an intestinal transplant because she has severe gastroparesis, among other conditions. Just disgusting.
Yeah, I've got some of updates including that stuff or relating to that stuff. It gets worse.
All right. My next one is wrong of the week. Pat Grassley, 98% said he is wrong. 2% said he's not wrong.
Fuck Pat. I'd have to say, this was one person that when I looked up, I go, of course this is Pat.
Yeah.
Sometimes I go out of my way to get pictures that like, I don't want a Brad Pitt headshot when we're talking that like he's an abusive fuck. This man, if you told me to find a picture where he doesn't look like a bumbling idiot, I would be like, so sorry. Mm-hmm. I can't find one. Mm-hmm. There are no thoughts behind those eyes. Mm-hmm. And that's a professional photo. Okay, so we have a little bit of a Madison Russo update, and I want to give a capital fat disclaimer, large disclaimer, big disclaimer that like this is 90 like this shit is alleged. Like this shit, not what she did, like that's not alleged, but like what I'm going to say, I'm not going to like mention like usernames or anything like that. Like, you know that people have different theories running around all of this. And if this was a true crime situation and we're speculating that someone killed someone or anything else. No, I'm saying if this is a true crime situation and like you're airing out people's theories or like what people are saying, like, oh, I know her, but it's an anonymous account and like blah, 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 blah. I would not give any time of day to like saying those things. This, I'm keeping names out of this shit, but like, I don't know. There's just one rumor in here that I just got to we have to talk about it because it might not be true, but there are some things that are pointing there. So the big thing and the question that we had the first time was like, how the fuck did this 19-year-old do this all on her own? She had to have someone in on it. So we've got a big question mark here pointing towards Peggy. Peggy is her mother. And Peggy's soldiers online are working on overtime. Anytime someone is saying that, saying, no, I know her. She's wonderful. She's great. She had no idea. People are trying to wrap their heads around how that would happen. So Peggy did post all of Madison's like cancer, reposting her things that she was posting all over Facebook. She reposted that stuff like on her personal thing of like the GoFundMe, all of that. But Peggy and Peggy's people online are responding to comments alleging that Madison cut out Peggy from her life and refused to let Peggy come to any treatments. So the idea that Madison has Munchausen's is not a thing because someone who has Munchausen's would have shaved their head. They would have gone to all of these appointments. They would have made themselves sick with the notion that they thought they were sick. They were convinced that they were sick, and people with Munchausen's usually end up becoming sick. Like you would have gone through the treatments. You would have like been doctor shopping if you're not getting what you needed. She didn't go to any of these appointments. She didn't go do anything. And she refused to let her mom go. They don't live in the same state. Her sister, in a turn of events, is a pharmacist. So do pharmacists have like a deep knowledge of oncology, like right off the bat out of school? Like, no, like you could be a pharmacist who works in oncology as your specialty. She wasn't. There is a baseline knowledge, and there are people who figured this shit out who have zero medical background. So there's some questions there, but it's also being said that she was not in her life at all, that she cut them out too. And right now it does seem like they're trying to position it as they went to, like, the only time she would let her mom come to things allegedly is like when it was like these events, like she was speaking at something and her mom was like, I found another doctor, you get another opinion, like on a certain, like something. And she apparently allegedly like lost her shit on her mom and like was like, no. And then cut her off. And I'm also like, well, mom, if you thought something was up, but at the same time, as a very fair thing, it's like, who would believe that someone would be faking this?
Right.
Allegedly, her mom also posted the fake hospital photos, which have the European machines and European outlets to that. So maybe she just has no idea. And allegedly as well, which will be very easy to prove, she was not on her parents' insurance anymore. She removed herself to do like state-funded insurance because it was going to cover everything. And the other question is like, well, who's the beneficiary on like life insurance policy? When was the last... all of these sort of things. She's saying that she just had Medicaid, and that's why someone pointed out that the orange tan that she has a photo of her not wearing makeup, or a video of her not wearing makeup, and you can clearly see the goggles from the sunbeds. Now, I have not found the video in question where she says this, but enough people have said it and like quoting her that I believe that it was out there. That someone commented on her appearance asking like why she was so orange, and she said the radiation was making her tanner.
I thought that was mentioned last week.
I don't know that it
maybe it
was, but that was just absolutely wild. So I mentioned Charlie in the original episode, who is the girl with cancer who Madison co-opted a fuck ton of her time towards the end of Charlie's life. Charlie's from her community. Charlie's from her same community. They went to high school together. So this entire community has already been shaken up with the diagnosis of a young girl with cancer. Charlie's done so much within the community, like everybody's rallied around. So Madison saw all of that. But then she also attached her story onto Charlie's, and they were simultaneously happening at the same time. So here's where the plot really starts to fucking thicken. So Tom Boulund, Boulund, we know two things about him. He is the one who started the GoFundMe, and he's the one who posted her $10,000 bail. He's
person of interest?
A 50 to 70-year-old man. There's different recollections there. Now, here's where the rumors start. The rumors, again, completely alleged, that they were having an affair. And by the time that he came into her life, this is when all of this shit started. And here's where it gets even more fucked up. So she went to speak at a doctor, it's OHL Strong, which is the Dr. Brent the Dr. Brent Ohl Pancreatic Cancer Support and Awareness Organization. She went to speak there. And she's wearing her wig. She's doing all of this stuff there. It's a local father from her school district who had passed from pancreatic cancer. She is faking pancreatic cancer. Her mom's father died from pancreatic cancer. And her mom was also friends with this father who died from pancreatic cancer in their community as well. They grew up together. So Peggy, there's a screenshot from Peggy's Facebook. We don't know if this is, I can't corroborate this, but this is a screenshot. Unfortunately, this is her mom saying, I've never been allowed to go along to any appointments. I never met her doctors. I've asked lots of numbers, bajillion times, please let me learn about this and help you. Told her she didn't have to do it alone, but she insisted. One thing I've said to her many times is Charlie never did this without her parents. They were a team. She said, you guys are working. I'll just go to Iowa City alone. I never understood why. I thought she wanted to go by herself. She told me she could handle it and stay and work. Maybe because I'm a single parent and I help her financially. I don't know. No one's understood that. Was it pride? But it's broke my heart all year. So we talked about how she was arrested, but they seized her. Oh, allegedly, apparently she met this older man at a gym. People have found photos. I'm not obviously going to direct anyone to go find photos, mostly because there are other people in these photos as well who probably have absolutely nothing to do with this, even if he doesn't. So this is, I'm going to call probably bullshit, but like, let's just talk about it. This is a screenshot from a text, which if you're going to be telling gossip that is like a criminal case, I'm just going to tell you right now, you FaceTime. You wait till you're in person. You don't send text messages. So I don't know how true any of this shit is, but
Where is this stuff coming from?
Some accounts. So I guess like this is like Midwest. It's a small community. People are like up in arms. Like really, I think like they're really grieving the death of this other like young girl. And there's a lot of people in the community who are like really fucking upset about it. And apparently she was not a nice girl in high school. So I think there's some people with some time on their hands. So people are speculating that Maddie and this Tom guy had an affair for 3 years, and Peggy, Maddie's mom, was always trying to get her away from him. And then this is where I'm like, this is not real. This seems like a badly written, like the asshole, like fake Reddit rage bait. Maddie faked a pregnancy test to get him to like leave his wife, and like he has a daughter, blah, blah, blah. She's going to expose him. She takes himself off her parents' insurance, and then she fakes cancer to like get him to help her and like spend all this money. So like he's paying all this money for her. And then it kind of makes him like, you know, a victim too. She also allegedly sold her car, saying that she didn't need it anymore because she's going to be dying. But then she had a 2023 brand new Kia Soul or Kia Sportage, Kia something, that was seized from the government. And also, but what this text message alleges, which I'm hella fucking curious what's going to happen, is that it says Maddie didn't just raise $38,000 on GoFundMe, which a majority of the donations were Tom using fake names. I don't believe that, but she raised well over $100,000 on her own profile care accounts. And I'm like, well, if that's true, they're going to find out. And he apparently was at her high school graduation, which, what is this relationship? Was this, he would have been 63 when she was 16. Like, was this, do we know this? Like, what is this? So it's a whole mess and a half. But what was like seized from her apartment was like a brown paper bag with medical supplies in her I don't know what to call it, but like in her IV drip. I think of them as dialysis because that's what my grandpa had, and it looked like that. In the machine, it was filled with cotton balls. She didn't even fill it with milk or any other fluid. Like she filled it with cotton balls to basically look like she was getting tube feedings, which is not a thing that is like that would have been a completely separate issue with all of this. She also had all of the ports and all of her like tube sort of things everywhere. And a bunch of comments on these videos of like exposing her. It was all these other people, all these other cancer patients who were like, she used my photos. She used my friend's photos. She used this other person who's within this community on TikTok about supporting each other with cancer. And it's like ridiculously fucked up. And I want to give one shout out to this creator who's documenting their journey, and like that's who I think should be money being given to them and like support and focusing on that kind of shit. The account is Slabbing Beauty on TikTok. Her friend, Madison used her friend's photos and shit, and I was looking at comments, and that's how I found her. And I watched so many of her videos, and she is dealing with like a 10-year-long case of doctors like not listening to a patient, and she's documenting her journey. She's talking about everything that she's going through. She's making great content, and I just think that like there are so many young people and old people of all ages who are actively going through cancer and seeking a community online. And fuck her. Fuck Matt. Like, fuck 100%. Her. So, yeah. I'm just baffled. And,
you know, she looked exactly like I thought she was going to look.
Of course. People are like, people have such a hard time believing that she's 19. I don't think that she looked old. I will say, like, wear sunscreen. Please do not use tanning beds. Like, maybe were you trying to get skin cancer? Was that like the fuck? But pancreatic cancer, also from researching all this, it has like a 5 to 10% chance of survival. And I think it's more like, I think it's 5 to 10% for more than 5 or 10 years. It's like the quickest turnaround for that. And she also said that, like, when she had leukemia, you can't have cancer in an organ then go to a liquid, like a mass cancer, like in an organ, then go to a liquid cancer. Like, it doesn't spread. Like, it's just in your pancreas. Like, it was like she was trying to get caught. So it's raging narcissism and attention, desperation. And then again, there's at least one fucking adult there. But I think it's how she does her makeup too.
Yeah.
Anyways, that's it. I hope you enjoy getting fisted this Friday. Bye.
What's up, everyone? It's Noah Daniels.
Hey, y'all. I'm JJ.
Hey, guys. It's Kat.
And we're your hosts of the Real Hauntings podcast, where we bring on guests who share their first-hand encounter ghost stories and supernatural experiences. Now on to the trailer.
I've been warned to not tell this story, but I think because of the way it ends, it's okay to tell this story, because some people say that with certain entities, to like speak of them or talk about them or in any way like portray them as powerful will attract them to other people. The creepiest thing about it to me is a lot of times it would wait for me to notice it. Like, it would just lay its arm out like this, and then I'd be like, where is it? Where is it? And then I'd see it, and then it would just slither back.
For more information on the Real Hauntings, Real Ghost Stories podcast, make sure you check out Real.fm to learn more about our podcast and many other amazing podcasts.
Hi, I'm Jennifer, a founder of the Go Kid Go network. At Go Kid Go, putting kids first is at the heart of every show that we produce. That's why we're so excited to introduce a brand new show to our network called The Search for the Silver Lining, a fantasy adventure series about a spirited young girl named Isla who time travels to the mythical land of Camelot. Look for The Search for the Silver Lining on Spotify, Apple, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Listening to a podcast should be time well spent, and I promise it will be if you'll give this podcast a try. It's called Something You Should Know. I'm the host, Mike Carruthers, and in every episode, I talk with leading experts on topics I know you will find fascinating. From why people can't keep secrets, what your favorite music says about you, why your pet acts in strange ways, and so much more. Something You Should Know is designed to give you information you can use in your life and give you great intel that you can share with others. I'm told it's a binge-worthy podcast. And with over 1,000 episodes, there's a lot to binge on. Something You Should Know has been ranked in the top of the Apple podcast charts consistently for a long time. I know you're going to like this. I just need to get you to try it. Something You Should Know. It's available wherever you listen to podcasts.